Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with me. My name is Cotton Candy Doll. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome all. Hi, this is a shifting video. You might hear some noise in the background. You might hear some insanely happy laughter because yeah, it's that time of day. And also I am getting hair in my mouth. Do you guys like my hair? Isn't it a pretty color? So Valentine's Day is coming up and I wanted to take some pictures and stuff. So I got up early to do that. And also, I had a question about shifting too that I wanted to answer for you guys because there's a lot of people, not just you guys, who want to know about shifting, like what my method is. I know I did my method probably like some months and months ago. I don't even remember how long ago it was. I know that I put all of my details in there, at least what I do for me. These things may not work for you like how they work for me, but I'm still going to share with you. Also, I want you guys to understand that shifting is not something people normally do. People don't wake up and say, I'm going to shift today, or shifting is not just a part of your life. It's just something that some of us are able to do. And we discover that, like, it comes, the whole shifting thing comes later in life, like when you start to, move away from like family, because family, most of the time, they're not going to talk about that kind of thing, especially if you grow up in like a religious family like Catholic or Christian or something like that, 90% of the time they're not gonna have it, they're not gonna deal in shifting because with shifting, it deals with meditation and chakras and things like that, and also finding frequency. And I'll explain everything in this video, but I'm also gonna tell you guys what happened when I went back to the My Hero Academia universe and what happened with Frodo and Toshinori, because Toshinori was trying to ask me for a baby last time and I had him keep Frodo for 2 days to see how he felt because Frodo is a handful, and and I don't mean just with like the whole behavioral thing. Overall, he is a baby. Babies cry. You don't know what they want. Trying to communicate with him despite having the sign language or whatever, even though his IQ is a little higher than a normal like baby, it's still not easier. I don't know why it's not easier. It's just not because I can't really. There is no way for me to communicate with him. His brain cannot comprehend adult things or older things. You have to do it in such a little way because he's just basically a baby. So it's kind of like that. And so I think Toshinori thinks it's just easy with him because he's probably thinking that Frodo is so much older than what he is or something. I don't know. So he's probably thinking he's an older kid, so it's okay to have another kid. And also, I really don't want to deal with that again. I have Frodo. Frodo is enough. In fact, I plan on spending my whole like entire Valentine's Day with Frodo, just him alone. Because the thing is, yes, it's supposed to be spent with someone you love. I love Frodo. Also, Frodo wasn't around last year either, so this is kind of my way of including him completely in my life. He has that part of my heart that no one else has, and he comes first before anyone. So I guess maybe I should jump into what happened first before I go into the whole shifting thing. For those of you waiting for my questions, you'll get them closer to the end of the video, or you can just fast forward it if you don't want to watch like the story time. But I'm going to tell you guys what happened. So based off of our conversation last time, me and Kago had, we had our little therapy session, and I ended up traveling with him to his island and everything. And I was just shocked to see that it's true. Sorry, this is all in my face. It's just a new style I was trying to do. I really was. You guys like the bow. Thank you guys too. Thanks for watching. So, um, we didn't really get to spend any. Um, we didn't have any like intimate time. It was really just bonding, and it just gave me a really warm feeling, the sense of being loved and understood and appreciated, and it just changed. I don't know. It just changed my world for the better as far as like how I see him now, instead of as this crazy, maniac guy that I just happen to love. And we just happen to have this kid. He's become someone that's more compassionate and caring to me. So after having that, I feel like I got my fill. But when I went back there, Keigo was like, he wanted to talk to me personally, like about something he had a question about. And of course, you guys know what that question was. It's like the things here like manifest there or something because you guys asked me about shifting, but he started questioning me about that again. And I was telling my friends in Discord that that actually came up again. Why don't you just stay here? And it's like first it was Toshinori, then it was him, then it was Frodo. Frodo can't speak, but he didn't want mommy to leave. Don't leave, don't leave. And I said I would get him out of that. So I kind of need everyone to kind of be on the same page because I don't want anyone. Frodo will pick up on that, and because he's so smart, and then he'll get back into the I don't want you to leave phase. But the thing is, Frodo can be taken out of that stage now because he's little, and then because he's so small, it's so easy to like take that stage out of him. So I feel like we all need to be on the same page. So I did talk to him about that. But afterwards, I went to see Toshinori to see how he's doing with Frodo. Guys, I walked in and it was pure chaos. Like when I say chaos, Toshinori's hair was just like a mess. He usually has his two strands sticking up, but they were like just out everywhere. His hair was just a mess. And so I asked him, I was like, "Where is Frodo?" And he was like, "Frodo is napping right now." And I'm like, "Your house is kind of a mess right now." I was like, "Let me help you clean up." He goes, "Sure, you can help me." And he plops down on the couch. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "I'm not really. I'm kind of tired." I was like, "Just rest your head for a minute." He was out like a light. So I'm cleaning up Toshinori's house. I'm cleaning up all his things, and I find you remember that syringe that had that stuff that he used to always use on me? I was like, damn it, you know, if I had a chance to like use it, I would. Just because that's who I am, I would definitely do that to Toshinori. But I figured he deserved to get sleep because of Frodo, and I didn't want to deprive him of that. So he's asleep, and then I hear Frodo crying in the other room. So I get up and I come in there. I didn't realize that Toshinori's bed was different from how the beds had normally been at the house. Because Frodo and Toshinori don't direct sleep directly next to each other. It's so when I walked in, it was like Frodo was kind of in like I want to say like a baby cage or something. It wasn't a cage in the sense that it was a cage, it was a bed. But the bed had there was no way to reach in the bed. You had to literally open the latch and grab the baby out. I mean, I guess that's safe for babies who like, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about it. I know it was for Frodo's protection so that nobody can just reach in and grab him either. I think that Toshinori had wanted him to be able to sleep with ease, but he also didn't want to have to worry about him. But also I know he wasn't okay with Frodo sleeping beside him in the bed because Toshinori knows there's a chance he could crush him. But then Frodo is also not like a little tiny baby. He can actually move, and I'm pretty sure he would like yell if he did that. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure Frodo would not bite him. Okay, I'm pretty sure Frodo would probably start crying or yelling. And you're gonna wake up when you hear him. He's not quiet. He's not a quiet crier. So coming in, I'm like, hey, I take him out, pick him up and stuff, and I walk in the room, and Toshinori is on the couch, and I'm like, he's not really done watching him yet. I was just coming to check on him. So I wake up Toshinori, I'm like, here's Frodo. And I give Frodo to him. And he's like, hey, buddy. And he just looks so tired and exhausted. And I'm secretly like laughing a little bit because I'm just like, I can tell you this wasn't going to be easy. You want another kid and you want to have to deal with him too. Congratulations, go with it then. And yeah, I don't, personally, I don't want to, but I didn't want to tell him that. But he was just like, oh, hey, Frodo, are you hungry? And then Frodo is just staring at him. He's like, okay, let's go to the kitchen. And he's walking slow and he's walking like, I'm like, okay, I think his time is up with Frodo. So I go, hey, Endeavor says he's going to come by later. I was like, I cleaned everything. He's like, thank you. So he's holding Frodo in his hand. He's holding Frodo like in his arms. And he reaches over and he kisses me. I kiss him back. And I'm like, Frodo, mommy's gotta go. Mommy loves you. And so like after I like pull away from Toshinori, Frodo reaches his hand over and he grabs like the top of my collar because I was wearing like a work shirt. So my work shirt for there is like a button up. It's like basically a plain button up shirt. I should have pinned my hair better. Dang it. So he's grabbing like the collar. He doesn't want me to leave. And I'm like, you know what? I have a few minutes before I have to go to work. So why don't you let me feed him? You go lay down. So he goes and he lays down and I'm like, Frodo, I have to make your breakfast. So I'm gonna put you in your little baby prison. And Frodo is not an idiot. He knows it's a baby prison, basically. He can climb out, but I won't let him climb out because I point at him and I say, you better stay in there. And I actually got that from Endeavor. Like he said, address him, like point him out, like single him out and say, hey, you need to stay in there. Like that. So I gave him his little toys. I'm making his breakfast and everything, and I hear Toshinori snoring. I'm just like, oh my god. I'm like, Toshinori doesn't really snore. He must be tired. He must be really tired and exhausted. So I kept him, let's see, I kept my little man up until it was time for me to go to work. I fed him and everything, and I changed him and got him dressed, and they just changed him into more little baby clothes and put him back in his little baby prison. But then I did have to wake up Toshinori because Frodo will climb out and be all over the place, and you'll have like a disaster on your hands. Like Frodo gets into everything. So yeah, he will climb out. Frodo will pull everything out of your refrigerator, everything out of your cabinets onto the floor. He will float up to your lights and like mess with the lights. And that's pretty dangerous. Like he just gets into everything. So you have to keep an eye on him. So I understand why he had the little cage crib thing there, but it's like, okay, whatever. As long as he can open it and get out, you know. Because the thing is, you have to have a way for your baby to get out. It's just like any classroom. Like when you work in a classroom, if you work with little babies, even if they can or can't open the door, you can't lock that door with the kids in there with you. Because if something happens to you, those kids can't get out. Like, well, if there's a fire, they need to be able to open the door and get out. If you're passed out on the ground, at least the kids can get out or whatever. At least they escaped, and you're the only one that dies, and not like the kids or anything. Anyway, I just went to a whole. You guys know how I feel about that kind of thing. So I left there, and I kept thinking of like, what can I? Should I sing Toshinori his little special song? So I started singing it, and Toshinori would stop snoring. He just went to like a regular sleep, and Frodo started laughing. And I was like, do you think my song is funny? And he kept laughing. It was just the cutest thing. So I came over to him, my little nummy gums. I gave him kisses and put him back in there. And I woke up Toshinori. I'm like, hey, I have to go to work. Went to work, sitting in my classroom, and who do you know knocks at my door? Principal Nezu. And he's like, the kids are coming here today because they have something to give you. I'm like, okay, they're coming because they have something to give me. Great. So then I guess Momo, who I don't even see that much, decided that they would get together and throw me a little party. Yes, they threw me a party. So I came in and I noticed there was like pizza and kamikaze pizza, yes. And that all in one place, whatever it was. They had all the same food. And so like Bakugo was standing over by the window and he's like, I saw something moving in the trees. And I was like, well, let's let the teachers and everyone else know. He's like, it's probably just some weird animal or something. I was like, we can never be too safe. So I told Principal Nezu there was some weird activity going on outside. So all the teachers or whatever went to go check it out. So I'm in there with the kids, and Bakugo is like, hey, Miss Cotton Candy, you know, we're so glad that you came back. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I came back too. And so then Midoriya comes over. He's like, sorry, where do they have you? And I told him, detention. They're like, oh, you're in detention. So then Momo walks up. She's like, well, I don't feel like that's fair. I mean, why do you have to be in detention? I'm like, exactly. I have to be there every day. I go, but no, it's my job as a teacher. I'm not really going to be like upset about it or anything. So then they were like, let's turn on some music. So they started dancing. And I'm watching them and I'm just like, these the kids from my hero because they seem a little bit different, you know? Everyone's acting strange, kind of. Like they're all like actually dancing and stuff. And I know like Bakugo doesn't usually would not be like the dancing type, but even though they're dancing, like you know, explain the dance to you, it was like this. Like one of those. And I'm just like, okay, he's actually dancing. Is he enjoying this? Whatever. And him and Midoriya are talking like they're friends. And I'm just like, didn't they usually not get along? And then Ida comes up, okay, everybody, we need to do a head count. We need to make sure that everyone is accounted for. And as class president, I was like, it's okay. I'm the teacher. Okay, I'll make sure everyone's here. And I basically went there and checked off all the lists. So all the kids were there. Um, yeah, I think every kid that's normally there was there. There wasn't anyone missing this time, like last time. And I was actually pretty proud of myself. Like, even though I know I was coming to class to like be in my detention, I guess maybe that was some kind of trick or something because Principal Nazu for sure told me that I had to work that day in a detention. And then he just changed up and said that they had a surprise for me. So I'm thinking maybe he's trying to reward me. I don't know. Or maybe it was a way to like show he cares or appreciates me. Because all the kids apparently they've been asking for me for a long time, like to see me and stuff. And the only time they can see me is in the detention. And I think the only kid I saw was Bakugo that one time. So I just had to check something. I thought the camera moved like weird. Also, guys, I hope the lighting in the room is okay. I didn't really like how dark it was in the other videos. I went back and I looked down. I'm like, huh, it's just so dark and like gloomy. I know I was talking about I think I was talking about depression last time too. Ugh, that just brought on like I was just like, yeah, that's bad. But so that's what happened when I went there and I ended up coming back and so Midoriya and Bakugo and Ida, all of them decided they were gonna walk me to the door and just look outside to make sure nothing was out there. And I just had this eerie feeling when I was walking out there because I knew something was lurking. It was like something was watching me. And I didn't want to believe that anything else happened there. But there was a rumor. You guys remember the rumor about that there might possibly be like someone infected or whatever, or something infected? We all just kind of blew it off or whatever. So I just told them, be careful because you don't know what's out there. So I ended up leaving and I thought about where I should go next. And I was like, I could go see Kago, but Kago's in a meeting right now because he's at the school. And I was like, I guess I'll stop by and say hi. So I went over and I said hi to him, and he said, um, Valentine's Day is coming, and I want to see you on Valentine's Day. And I said, okay. And he's like, I have a surprise for you. And I'm like, oh boy, I wonder what it is. I don't have any idea. So I'm really looking forward to that. To Valentine's Day. I ended up shifting back here, and then that's basically what happened. Now I'm gonna jump right into some of the other stuff I wanted to talk to you guys about shifting in general. And do I even have it? I don't. Okay, I don't have. I didn't bring it over. Just gonna go back and get. No, it's okay. So let's talk about shifting for a second. In my older videos, I talked about how I use my method and what I did. There is meditation. You can use that as a way to shift, but you also need to do it with frequency. Usually, when they tell you to meditate, they tell you to sit in the Indian style, and that's supposed to be comfortable. But to me, that's not really comfortable for me. I showed you guys how I sit. I put a pillow behind me and I lean back against it. I usually have one of my legs out, or I have both my legs up in a way, not like in the air, but just how I sit up. You just want to sit really comfortable. You want to relax all the muscles in your body. You want to breathe in and out, and you want to use that frequency while you're traveling. You want to think about where you want to go. Um, you want to think about what type of environment is going to be before you get there, what it smells like, just in general, how it feels, what your feelings are in general. You want to keep in mind whether you have positive or negative energy because it's going to greatly affect how well you can travel. Also, it'll affect where you end up. I've talked about that in my older videos too because I have traveled to, you guys remember the Digimon video where I went to the Digimon world? I was actually trying to go to Jewel Pad. I really wanted to go there because I wanted to have that overwhelming feeling. That's just the cuteness is just overwhelming of all the creatures there. I just wanted to go there and see a jewel pet and possibly pet one. Even though they can talk and everything, and it'd probably be like, "Oh, why are you treating me like an animal?" But no, I think I really wanted to see that place, but I stopped trying to go other places because what happens is when you get in touch with another frequency, sometimes there's a pull. So you get pulled to a certain place that you're not trying to go to. On the bright side, at least it was places similar to where I was trying to go. The Digimon world versus the Jewel Pet world. What's the difference? Well, the Jewel Pet world is just it's gonna be a lot cuter, a lot fluffier, and just pink, just just very just and then the Digimon world is kind of it's a little more hardcore. There's fighting there. You have to fight other Digimon and stuff and I think a lot of that had to do with my energy. It wasn't on a like an even level. I probably had more negative energy than positive, and then before I go, I usually measure it. It's usually easy to think that you have a lot of positive energy, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have more negative because you might have. Not saying that you're angry all the time. You might be just overwhelmed, or you might be uncomfortable with something, or you might not feel. You might be in pain, you might not feel safe or just all the negative factors, then that's usually going to affect the negative part of your energy. Positive is you're happy, you're satisfied, um, you feel joy, happiness, that sort of thing. Like you feel like you're in the right state of mind. Now, I've been in those situations before where I've gone places and it has not been what I expected. You guys know Diabolic Lovers, and then there was Blonde Norman, who Norman doesn't have blonde hair from The Promised Neverland. And um, sorry about that. Just moved this out of my it's tickling me so much. Sorry guys. So all right, so these are your steps, okay? You're gonna do this, and then I want you guys to comment later on what you do as far as your shifting. I know a lot of people like shift through like their sleep and don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna knock that method. I just wouldn't do it. It's too dangerous for me. I have shifted I have actually fallen asleep during a shift, and when you fall asleep you have no you can't control your state of mind. It's very hard to do it when your mind is already in an unconscious state. You can't have a conscious way of thinking. So that really does affect your experience there and how you and what happens when you get pulled there and when you travel. You have no effect on the environment whatsoever. So the environment, whatever it is, that's gonna be the state when you get there because it does have to do with your state of mind. So, say for example, I traveled to guys. I just about told you guys everywhere. I told you I stopped traveling to places that are not my hero because my hero is the only place I can successfully travel to where I have mostly everything kind of happened the way that I want. There has been a few incidents with Frodo and but I mean those could have been that could also had something to do with the amount of energy I had as well. So I just have to make sure that I'm careful with that. But also we had someone named Toga jump into the picture who's been a lot just stirring up a lot of trouble lately. So that also has like a big effect on what happened there too. So you guys already know that if you watch the videos. But I was gonna try to go to. I thought of going to like somewhere fun again, a different universe that has nothing, harmful there. Not Attack on Titan because Attack on Titan was probably one of the worst places I ever shifted to, and I'm still not even ready to talk about that yet. So it was one of the worst places. I shifted in the worst possible positions I could have shifted to. I think a lot of me. I think I was angry or I just had rage. So when I did shift, yeah, that didn't work out too well. All right, so your steps. Let's go over it. Your so what does meditation mean? What does chakra mean? Chakra is your energy points in your body. So you want to do it from your core. So you want to expel your energy from your core. Expelling energy is like it's like taking a breath without actually breathing. So if I had to give you a good example, it's basically like singing. Okay. So imagine singing, okay, and kind of holding it there. And you want to turn on your frequency, whatever frequency you can use. There's different ones, and be careful which ones you choose. It does have a lot to do with frequency and vibration. And I used to laugh. I told you guys I used to laugh about that stuff when I was younger. I used to think, I'm not trying to offend anyone, okay? I used to think it was like a white thing, like only white people do like the, frequency and vibrations. I used to laugh about that stuff and just, you know, and now, I'm in a position where I don't really have anyone I can talk to about it because they will all think I'm nuts. Also, yeah, because those were my thoughts because I grew up because I'm from a Christian family and, you know, obviously my skin color too. So none of them, they like shift. If anyone had heard something about that, they would just probably bust out laughing, and then, just be like, girl, what you talking about? Kind of like that. And it is a real thing. When I first felt the vibrations, I didn't understand what was happening. I thought it was my phone but then I thought my phone was vibrating, but then I realized my phone is plugged in the wall over there. Why am I feeling vibrations here? Or why am I feeling it in this certain areas? That's because the frequency controls the events that happen because the events happen on a certain timeline within a certain. You guys are just like, what the heck? Probably. I know. I think I've explained this before in my other videos. If you can find the right frequency, it just makes it so much easier. But what you're going to do is you're going to sit in your position. You're going to relax. You're going to breathe in and out. As you breathe out, you're going to expel your energy. Okay. When you expel your energy, you will start to shift. You will see. You don't even have to have your eyes closed. You can close your eyes if you want. Now, I'm not saying that if you fall asleep, it's necessarily bad if you shift. Usually, you can't really control, though. You really don't really have that kind of consciousness where you can control what's happening. Just kind of have to go with the flow. It's like people who have dreams about a zombie apocalypse or something, and you got to run the whole time. Whereas the youth have more control over that environment, you would make it into something like a tea party, or you might want to be in a nice serene forest, or in a nice area with a nice pond, or just like waterfalls or something like that. But then if you've experienced something traumatic or scary, that negative energy can also creep in and turn this place into something else. And if you happen to fall asleep and you wake up there, you're not going to have the same type of consciousness or control over what's happening as you would if you were not to fall asleep. I'm not saying it's not difficult to. I have fallen asleep before because you get so relaxed. But the thing is, you want to be relaxed. If you feel uncomfortable in any way when you're trying to shift, it's going to be so much harder for you to shift. I'm going to tell you that right now. Everyone, they're like, close your eyes, clear your mind, and you'll start floating. And it's like, so if I close my eyes right now, I'm going to start floating. Okay, I'll do it. Then you close your eyes and you're not floating. Well, they're not explaining everything to you in detail, what you have to do. Finding a frequency is about finding a frequency. When you think of frequency, think of sound, think of a bell. Also, it helps me if I have my guide available to me because what I do is I write a note under him. You basically choose a word. And you can tap into this word anytime you're there and you want to leave. Your guide will usually pull you out if he feels like you're not safe. So you can technically just depend solely on your guide. What I do is I take a piece of paper, I write whatever my word is, pineapple. Write pineapple, write apple, orange. It doesn't even have to be food. It can be video, something. What you do is you place it underneath your guide. Okay. That guide is connected directly to that word, and your guide is with you everywhere you go because your guide will be there to guide you. Lucid dreaming is also another form of shifting, but with the lucid dreaming also comes the not really having control. You're just kind of going with everything that happens. With shifting is something entirely different because you control that reality, everything about it. So when I shifted to my hero this time, I felt like everything was a little off. The kids were definitely behaving different. Maybe it's because I wished for them to. I never spoke the words out loud. I just thought about it. I want them to be able to get along. For Bakugo, I thought, I mean, obviously, I know what his family is like, but he has this great desire to become stronger and just to grow. And I wanted to, have his mind be sort of at ease to where he's comfortable doing what he enjoys despite having to become strong because you can still get stronger regardless. Ida, in his sense of leadership, he feels like he has to be in charge. So having that responsibility role, it was really hard to take it from him because he was still like that when I went back there. And then Momo, who has also kind of like an authority, figure. People look to her for advice, and she's also kind of like, she has her own things that she wants to do, and it's sort of like, she planned this whole thing and put it together. I guess the party or whatever, like Principal Nezu was saying. So I mean, there's all those things to factor in when you're shifting. So shifting is not an easy task. It's not something that can be done, and anyone who's ever done it in one go, or I've just been able to just randomly do it. Those are people that are kind of special. They're special. People with the ability to do this, and there are some people who can do this like in a snap of a finger, and for some of us, it's a little bit harder. I didn't know shifting was possible. My first time ever shifting was years and years ago, and I told you guys what happened. I'm not gonna jump into that because that's in the older video. But now that I have my guide, there's so much more that I know about myself now that I know what kind of guide I have. So I'll introduce him to you guys one day. But I feel like it's just gonna make me look loony anyway. Isn't that right? Stare at me. Stare. Stare. I know. But he has a funny way of doing things too because he doesn't always come right away. He'll come like right on time. So uh if you guys have more questions about shifting, uh in my video, in my other video, I really just showed you guys steps on how to measure it. I told you what I use. You guys don't have to use the same methods as me. You can if you guys want to try the Raven method or sleep method. I think I did the Raven method with you guys on camera. And I'm not even sure if it worked or not. I don't even remember. Yes, that didn't work. Um it didn't work. Because that was the one where I went to sleep and what the heck happened? I don't think anything good came from that. There was another one where you take like pills, like sleeping pills, and then you wake up in your universe and everything is how you said because you scripted it and you wrote it down. I'm not saying you shouldn't script it right now. You can definitely script. You guys remember when I tried going to Resident Evil and I scripted all that stuff? I went there, I reached my goal, but instead of being like head of an operation, I was stuck in a room with someone infected, and I mean, my guide had to snatch me out of there faster than I could see potato. you know, I'm just giving you guys examples of what happened to me in the past trying to shift. You're not going to be perfect. You might shift to somewhere for just a couple seconds, and that's still progress for you. I just want you guys to have control over your shifting, over like what happens in your shifting. There's sometimes when I said, when I'll say, please don't let me travel anywhere today. I don't want to go anywhere. I'll tell my guide I want to stay here. And I'll ask my guide, can I stay here? And they'll say no. Then they'll tell me I'm going no matter what. And it's like, great. And I said, when am I going to shift? And they'll tell me like, oh, it's going to happen in your sleep. So I'm basically going to have no control over this place. And I'll know I shifted because when you wake up, when you actually shift, you're active and you're moving in that environment and everything around you. You can feel and touch everything. You can even smell everything. It's as if you're right there because you are there, basically. And so then later, when you wake up, because you had no consciousness over it, because you didn't have control over it, because you didn't have because you lose your state of mind, all of that memory, everything disappears. Okay. So it's basically just like lucid dreaming. And that's what lucid dreaming is. Usually you don't always remember what happened, it's gone. And you also had no control over what happened. So yeah, I know I'm basically just repeating myself in like a cycle, but I did want to try to help you guys with the whole shifting because a lot of people have been asking me questions about that in general. Where should you find your frequency? I would recommend getting a sound machine, something that has, I'll show you guys this. This is what I use. I use this because, and at first at first it never occurred to me to use this. This has been literally in my room the entire time. My mom got it for me as a Christmas gift. She said it would help me sleep or whatever. And I basically use it if I'm having trouble sleeping, basically. For shifting, I use, there's a few different ones. I use relax, I use calm, I use peace, and ambience. I don't use white noise. I don't use stream or water because those things are a little closer to this reality here. And I feel like it would just put me in a closer to something like a dream state. So I wouldn't have to have that state of mind. It is really difficult to keep a state of mind when you're dreaming. When you're in a dream, it is really close. What I mean by state of mind means um you lose something important about yourself that you don't know. Um, for example, something like you having a dog. You won't remember you have a dog. Something important like um, someone died, or this person is not alive, this person is dead, or this person is not dead, this person's actually alive. That sort of thing. Your state of mind changes and you don't have control over it. So I would recommend getting a sound, and the sound is, I wish I had brought my cords over. I should have plugged all of it in and let you guys hear it. You know what? When I do my next video, I'm sorry guys. When I do my next video, I'll hook this in and I'll let you guys hear the type of sound I listen to when I am actually shifting, not when I'm trying to go into like a sleep state. If you've been shifting and um, you've been like just falling asleep every time and you're like, oh, everything's perfect and I have control over it, then you're absolutely amazing. And I think that's so freaking awesome. And tell me how you're able to keep your state of mind and how you perfected it because it's very hard. It is very difficult. So, but remember, shifting is not an easy thing. That's what I want you to first remember. You're not always going to get it right, or it's going to take you a while to learn how to completely do, the shifting the way you want. And I hope this video didn't just help you out. I hope you got something from it too. If there's anything you guys don't understand, please just put it in the comment and I'll answer it. Since I've already done the video, I'm not going to say I'm going to do another video because I did tell someone I'd do another video and ended up being this video. So if you're watching, hi, how you doing? I hope you're doing okay. I hope all of you guys are doing okay. I hope you're doing great. Thank you guys for watching my video. Also, happy Valentine's Day if you guys don't see me tomorrow. Because I think tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Is tomorrow's Valentine's Day? I think it is. So yeah. And then I'll also be going back to my hero tomorrow because apparently there's a Valentine's Day surprise for me. So I can't wait to see what it is. And so don't forget, comment, tell me what methods you've been using or what you used, how it's been working for you, or if it's worked. And also, if you guys have any questions, frequencies, vibrations, meditation, your chakra points, there's the best position you should sit in and all that. I explained, I told you guys, dang it. It's hard to record from over there. Otherwise, I would show you guys how I actually sit. So I basically sit like this, and but I'm sitting like on a bed. You want to make sure you're sitting on something soft because you want to feel as if you're sitting like you want to feel as if you're like not really sitting on anything. I don't know if that makes sense to you. You don't really want to feel the hard floor beneath you because after a while that hardness starts to hurt and then you have to change your position. You don't want to keep changing. You kind of want to stay very still because that's also going to bring in, and you want to concentrate and concentrate, concentrate. And what you concentrate, you're concentrating on what you make. So what you're making is this place, wherever you're trying to go to. And if you want to make it exactly identical, gosh, just jumped into more, jumped into more like advice, even though I was trying to end the video, guys. I'm sorry. But you want to create it the way you were imagining it to be. And then all of those things will become real for you and you'll see it. I hope I helped you guys. Also, shout out to all of you guys. Thank you for watching me. I probably said that like 100 times, but I made it to 600 subscribers. Yay! And I don't know if I acknowledged that last time. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you all. So, um, when I go back to My Hero Academia, I'll let you guys know what happened. It'll probably be another video tomorrow. But I hope that my advice helped you guys. And don't forget to comment. If you like this video, don't forget to give this video a like. If you hated it, also don't forget to hit the bell notification. That way you're notified when other videos like this one become available. Ding! And I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys for watching. Bye!